So then fast forward to, I guess, 2018. They start filming Surviving R. Kelly. Now, Rick, you actually were interviewed for that documentary.
I believe so. I believe that's what it was. The best way I can put it, and I'm so thankful to God for him holding me the way that he does. When I was contacted about it, I thought to ask, what is the name of it? What is it being called? But I didn't ask. So they said it was a documentary about R. Kelly, Life and Times. Were you there? What happened? So after speaking with them for a while, and I'm assuming they were verifying that I was who I am, and I went into an interview, and I want to say it was about an hour and a half. And the one thing I told them that I would not do is slander him. I can break his neck over what he did to me. I can break his neck over what his management did and how that went. I can go in on him about that all day. But everything else, the allegations and the speculation, my Bible teaches me that, when somebody does this, you turn the other cheek. When somebody does this, you still do what you're supposed to do. But I don't have any of that. I don't have any. I told them that I would not slander him. I told them that I had no information, and that I said, if that's what you want, I'm not willing to do it. And they said, no, that's fine. Just, we're going to ask you some questions and speak your truth. And that's what happened. So the reason why I believe it didn't get used, now I look back at it from watching it, and I had nothing to contribute to that in that light. So if that's what they used it for, if that's what I was there for, none of my footage is used because there was nothing to contribute towards that.
Okay, and Dre, they never reached out to you for the documentary?
No. I didn't give him his number. I didn't give him his name. At that point, actually, when that was happening, like I said, I didn't realize what it was. And they never asked me, hey, do you communicate with the other members? Can I get their number? They never said that to me.
So then fast forward to 2019, and Surviving R. Kelly comes out. Did you guys watch the entire series?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Absolutely.
From your point of view, as group mates with R. Kelly, spending a lot of personal time with him, everything that you've personally seen, do you feel that Surviving R. Kelly was accurate or very one-sided?
Good.
I would say that it was pretty accurate. Pretty accurate. And I'm gonna say that in terms of most of the women that spoke, those survivors, they, I believe they were telling the truth. And, you got some stories that's kind of like, a little shady, like Dria's stories are a little shady at places, Sparkle's a little shady in places. But as for the girls that were actually young, their stories are valid, I believe. This is just my belief.
So from your point of view, what you saw in Surviving R. Kelly was accurate?
Yeah, for the most part.
For the most part.
For the most part.
When you saw it all laid out like that, how did you guys both feel?
I mean, in terms of like just to hear the stories. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm gonna be really honest. The girls that were older, I didn't quite understand that. Yeah, that part threw me. I'm like, you were in your good right mind, your good sense. So I didn't get that. But the ones that were young, I totally understood that. And with that being the case, I really feel like, at this point, seeing that, I really believe Rob needs to get some help. He needs some help at this point.
Right, because you said that R. Kelly is very talented, but he's also very ill.
Yeah, very. Very.
Okay. When you see all these girls say that R. Kelly essentially had a cult, mm-hmm. and You know, they had to ask to use the bathroom and ask to eat and stuff like that. From your point of view, do you think that this is accurate, knowing R. Kelly?
In terms of well, put it this way, he wasn't holding nobody hostage. Let's be clear on that. I can't see that. But in terms of him manipulating them, because I believe, you know, they were so young that they just did what he said. I mean, now all of the stuff about this urine and all of that, that was a first for me. You know what I'm saying? I've never heard anything like that. But in terms of him always having a lot of girls around, all the time. And they all got along. So it wasn't a strange thing. He's a freaking R&B icon. Yeah.
Let me chime in on.
Well, make it quick.
No. So, what do I think? I think that the controversy that has been surrounding him, my heart goes out to the people that feel the way that they do, that have gone through or going through what they're going through. And whether they're politicians or however the America's looking at it, I feel for them. But have you ever seen somebody go through something that was a celebrity and it was like, say somebody passes and it's too soon to crack a joke because they just passed? This is one of those situations where, do you crack a joke about it? Is it too soon? Is it too early? What I don't hear anybody doing is praying. I don't hear anybody who actually really cares about it. So what do I feel? Regardless of what I feel, what I believe should be happening that isn't happening is that we're not trying to connect. We're not trying to help those people, help him. And, you know, we all have cliques. We all have support staffs and, you know, people grieve in different ways. And I'm interested in us being, even though they consider us the closest to him, for somebody to say that, help everybody. For somebody to say, I'm sorry it happened. I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry that it is the way that it is. I'm sorry that society is looking at you in a negative light. I'm sorry that society is treating you ill or different because you spoke up. I'm sorry that if it actually is true that this happened, but nobody's praying. Nobody's talking about God. Nobody's bringing him into the situation, because that's the reason why we're off so bad, because we've lost religion. We've lost our minds and everybody wants to be like somebody else. Dre said he's an icon. He really is. He's changed the game tremendously. And I owe him certain things, because without him, I wouldn't have learned a lot of things that I learned when it came to being in the studio, when it came how to formulate a song, when it came to what he does and how he does it and how great he is at it. But that doesn't excuse if any of those things are actually true. It doesn't excuse that. I'm not going to say he's a great guy in every sense of the word. We all have a dark side. However, I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed to give God the glory. I'm not ashamed to say I stand up for what we're supposed to be doing, you know, because everybody's holding him accountable, whether it's true or not, they're holding him accountable. But who's saying, okay, I hold you accountable for it, but let me offer prayers. Let me offer solace. Let me offer this. Nobody's doing that to any of those people. So regardless of what side you're on, nobody's doing that. And that's my problem with all of it. So I blame everybody for not looking to God. I blame everybody for not even trying, because nobody's trying right now. You know, somebody shouldn't have to pass in order for us to say we should have taken a closer look. And
well, I want to touch on what you just said.
Can you make it quick?
Yeah. Nobody's doing that or whatever. But the reason why nobody's doing that is because it looks as though these women are trying to capitalize off of it. That's why they're not offering their prayers. That's why nobody's trying to console them and really look at it like, wow, these girls have been hurt. That's why it's not happening. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know.
I hope you got time for an argument, because this is about to happen.
But the way that it looks to me, Vlad, is how do you offer them consultation or anything when it looks like, I'm not for sure, but it looks like they could be capitalizing off the fact of actually up there telling their story. Now, that might not be true, so don't quote me. I don't want anybody getting mad at me. But I'm just saying that this is why the majority of the world isn't taking it totally serious. Now they're picking apart everybody's story, saying, oh, she's lying, she's lying, she's lying.
But that's what the problem is, because it's being picked apart, because we're still pointing the finger. That's what the problem is. So while you may make that point, That's the reason why we're being selfish. That doesn't mean they don't deserve it. That doesn't mean they don't deserve to be prayed for, deserve to be helped. I'm trying to get past the pointing fingers and just say, okay, where do we go from here? Because how long can we talk about this? Because from what I understand, his sales went up because of the controversy.
Mm-hmm.
Who's being helped with that other than him?